The book, The Sabertooth Curriculum by J. Abner Pettywell, is a satirical look at education. This book is often called the book that changed the way we look at education. It is a famous satire on the establishment of education and curriculum that was written in 1939 and is still relevant today. The book is a story of a tribe in Paleolithic times and their introduction to a systematic education for the youngsters. This book is told in a series of lectures spanning over 5 to 6 days in Tijuana at what is called the longest bar in the world, over many, many, many tequila daisies. It starts off with the first educational theorist, Newfist Hammermaker, also known as Newfist. He's a doer, a thinker, something that's unheard of at this time. And he came up with this concept of having a conscious, systematic education. He noticed that the kids were playing with stones and rocks and not really doing anything. And he realized that they could be learning to become productive quicker. So he came up with this educational goal. What things must we tribesmen know how to do in order to live with full bellies, warm backs, and minds that were free from fear? This is actually just a clever disguise for backwards design. He identified his desired results, his big ideas. He wanted full bellies, warm backs, and minds free from fear. And then he decided how to get there. And once he had this decision, which I'm going to go over on the next slide, he was able to plan those learning experiences and instruction. So his curriculum consisted of 3 parts. The first part of the Sabertooth curriculum was fish grabbing with the bare hands. The second part was woolly horse clubbing. And the last part of his curriculum design was saber-toothed tiger scaring with fire. He felt that these 3 elements were critical to helping the kids of the tribe be prepared to be successful when they went out to hunt. But then the Ice Age hit, and this Ice Age disaster caused the glaciers to melt, and the water flowed down the mountain, taking debris with it, and all of the water became muddy. Once the water was muddy, they couldn't catch the fish with their bare hands anymore because they couldn't see the fish in the water. Turns out the woolly horses also don't like wet terrain. They always wanted to be able to run, and they couldn't dig their toes into the mud, so they migrated elsewhere. And saber-toothed tigers, they don't do so well in wet climates, and most of them caught pneumonia and died off. And so it turned out that this past curriculum with these 3 curricular ideas became mere academic exercises with no purpose because they could not be implemented in the environment anymore. So the question was raised, do we need to change what we're teaching? Many of the elders of the tribe didn't want to interfere with this classical education. Others realized that something needed to happen so they could hunt and eat. So there's one of my favorite quotes from the book in this section. And it says, with all the intricate details of fish grabbing, horse clubbing, and tiger scaring, the standard cultural subjects, the school's curriculum is too crowded now. We can't add these fads and frills of net making, antelope snaring, and of all things, bear killing. What we need to do is give our young people a more thorough grounding in the fundamentals. So they're focused on all these 3 fundamentals of fish grabbing, horse clubbing, and tiger scaring that they needed, the fundaments. And this was really hard because lessons couldn't be tailored for diverse learners. And the way the world was changing, they needed that diversity in their education. The knowledge also wasn't transferable anymore. Do we still need to learn how to fish grab with bare hands, club woolly horses, and scare saber-toothed tigers when they're not around? Or should the focus of education be changing and evolving to meet the new demands, such as fish net making and using, antelope snare construction operation, and bear catching and killing? And if we're focused on these classical concepts, can we apply them to the new concepts? We needed to figure out what needed to happen in education. So they worked to change it. They wanted to make sure that the people of the tribe were understanding and being able to apply what was being taught. If we want the students to understand the material, they need to learn how to think, not what to think. And so some of the classic education can teach them some of the how to thinks, but also they needed to learn how to be creative. And they needed to take this understanding and incorporate it into their life, and also integrate their life experiences in a way where they can create deeper understandings in the future. And so it's important that we're teaching for understanding and letting students use their creativity. So overall, the Sabertooth curriculum is a timeless classic that was written in 1939 that is still relevant in today's education. It covers so many topics like backwards design, curriculum design, common core, goal setting, project-based learning, diverse learners, evolving curriculums, and so much more.